Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us on the Spy Shack podcast, the podcast where a group of superfans get together and talk the latest episode of Survivor this season, Millennials vs. Gen X. With me, like always, is Aaron. Aaron, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good.
And Kim, how are you doing today?
I can't complain.
Mark's not able to be with us today, but today we have Randy. Randy, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's nice to be with you guys here tonight and join in.
Okay, so like I said, we're gonna start talking about episode 9, still throwing punches of Survivor Millennials for Gen X. Before we do start talking about that, though, we wanted to bring something up. For those of you who don't know, there is a Survivor contestant that needs our help. I'm hopefully I'm saying the right. Seku Bunch. If you don't know who he is, he's from Cook Islands. He's the first boot. And he does have a GoFundMe going on. I just want to just read from it real quick. Sekou Bunch, a world-renowned musician, was severely injured in a car crash caused by the reckless driver this past September. Following the accident, Sekou was in a serious condition and was treated for a broken hip, as well as a severe concussion and multiple contusions. His recovery is far from over. Sekou is about to undergo a complicated, painful, and possibly damaging surgery to mend his socket or possible hip replacement. The recovery process might take up to more than 6 months, according to his doctor's prognosis. So right now, what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna put this link into the description here for the podcast, and it'd be great if each one of, even if it's just $5, $10. I don't know what the minimum donation here is. To help out. If you're not able to, just share it. Share the link with somebody, and let's help an ex-survivor get his medical bills paid. All right, guys. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start talking about this week's episode. We start off the episode with Jay being pretty pissed off at the result of last week's tribal council, and we get right away off the bat we get a Adam starting to sound real cocky. What do you guys think of this, Randy?
Yeah, I thought that Adam came back and tried to tell the same story that he gave to Taylor after Figgy. Yes, I know I voted against you. I know I screwed you over. Where he tries to smooth these things over, but he doesn't understand that he comes off really, really cocky and really smarmy to these guys that just think they completely screwed him over. Like Adam's much more thinking game when I think a lot of these guys take a lot of it personally. I don't think Adam did anything too terribly wrong when you're talking to Jay. I think it's just the delivery did not translate to Jay.
You have to be able to know what you're saying and who you're saying it to, because
Absolutely.
every person then takes something differently, and the way you say things to one person may not translate to the same to another person. It can be the exact same thing, but you say two different things to different people based on how you are able to interact with them. And I think it goes back to what I was saying a couple of weeks ago when he was talking to Taylor. I don't think he was trying to apologize. I think he was actually trying to set up his resume.
Absolutely.
I did this, and now he goes up to Jay. I did this. Remember, I did this for to you. So I think he's setting up his resume, but it's not the wisest way to go around. What did you think, Aaron?
Yeah, we are seeing the downward spiral here of Adam. Uh, I mean, I'm not saying that. It's really hard to say bad things about him when we know that he was going through this whole entire thing with his mom. And, but, I mean, be that as it may, I feel sorry for the guy, but the way he's handling himself in these last few episodes, last week, that one time when Figgy went, he does come off as very arrogant, very show-offy, and the thing I'm now noticing about more than ever about his confessionals, I've gone on and on about him being in a lot of school plays and whatnot. I think I now nailed what I don't like about the way that he's edited in the show. I don't like that almost in every one of his confessionals, it seems like he's shouting.
Yeah.
It's just, dude, calm down. I mean, maybe that's just the way he speaks, kind of like Mike, from Worlds Apart. It's just the way they speak. But I don't know. I think it's in downward spiral, and I think if he ever makes it to anywhere like near a final three, I don't think he gets any votes.
No, me neither. What do you think, Kim?
I don't know. I don't really think it as much as you guys think. I just think it's how he talks. There's people that are like that have no self-awareness of how they sound when they talk to people. And I don't know if it's so much gameplay, much as that some people are just bluntly honest, and he feels like, well, yeah, you are on the bottom. Do you want me to lie to you? And because what was he supposed to say to Jay?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't lie and say, well, I don't know where you are right now, because then you're lying and you can be looked at you're betraying your alliance. I guess there's a cockiness about it, but I don't think that he thinks he's coming across that way. I think it's more that he sees himself as just being honest with Jay.
Yeah, I think he's being honest with him, and there's no problem with being honest. It's just that you have to be more self-aware how you're coming off to other players, because we see later on Jay starts to rub Jay the wrong way even more later on.
And I think part of it is he's so excited. He's so excited to be there. He's living his childhood dream, and that he's like, see, Jay, I'm playing my favorite game and I'm winning. Do you see? I'm winning right now. Isn't that so exciting? I think there's a part of that where he doesn't get that what he's doing and the actions he's taking are really affecting these other people when he's just playing this game that he's loved his whole life.
Yeah.
And I think there's a part of that in there.
I think if it comes to a point where he is voted out, if that ever happens, I mean, if he goes to Final Tribal Council, then he'll find out another way.
Yeah.
But one of the things about Survivor is that it's a social experiment, and if you are voted out, it's either because of strategy, people don't like you, or you're seen as a threat, which kind of goes with the strategy thing. But the point being is that you can see to a greater extent in Ponderosa when these people go to Ponderosa and they go, "Wow, I was voted out. I didn't see that coming. I mean, why did that happen?" I mean, you're thinking of all the reasons why you think you could have gone. Why are the other people in? Well, they're better than me. I mean, they did something that I didn't do. So it's a great when you're voted out, you get to see what the flaws are in yourself. And I think if it comes to the point where Adam if he is ever voted out, I think he's going to start seeing, whoa, I must be a jerk. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially if people start telling him why they're voting him off, and he gets some self-awareness. But I mean, like I said, it's not that he's a bad person. It's just that he doesn't have the self-awareness of how he's sounding to people. So we also get Hannah excited that she is actually able to play the game. She really hasn't been playing the game. She's been more of riding a coattail kind of thing. But she really hadn't been to too many tribal councils to begin with. What do y'all feel about Hannah's explanation of now she's playing the game, she's winning at it, and she's doing good at it. Hopefully she can build a resume. Kim?
I don't really think, I'm walking by the way, I don't really think that she's playing. I think that she's just listening what others are telling her to do. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, because I mean, what were you doing before? What were you doing at the beginning of the game?
Exactly.
I like you, Hannah,
but
but
all she did is get in the bottom of an alliance.
Yeah.
And vote how she was told. She's not really contributing anything to a team or to the alliance other than being a vote.
Yeah, it's not like she's the one that told them to target Michelle or anything like that. She just voted with everybody else. What do you think, Randy?
Yeah, I see what you're saying there, but I think I disagree because what she's doing is she found her spot and now she's ready to make her move. And even if she doesn't really make her move, she's at least has the story behind it. She's convinced herself of that. And I don't know who watched, but for anyone that watched Survivor Australia, if you can convince yourself that you are this mastermind. You can convince the jury.
Get him, Randy. Who is she from Survivor Australia? Who is she?
Oh, she's Christy.
Right? Did Christy? Wait, no. Did Christy deserve to win a Survivor Australia?
But who walked away with the money?
Australian Survivor. I thought we were talking about.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, she walked away with the money. She had her story. She had her strategy. She may not have. Some of her strategy may have come up after it happened, and then she wrote the story behind what she did after the fact. But I feel like that's what Hannah's starting to do. And after watching a few of the secret scenes from the past few weeks and episodes, there's more to Hannah than we're seeing. She sees it. She's excited. She's like, "Oh, I finished in the middle of the immunity challenge. That's right where I want to be. I want to be the funny, weird, quirky girl. I want to build that. I want people to like me, but not be threatened by me." And I think she has some fangs that may come out eventually. But right now, I think she's playing the game she needs to play. She doesn't need to make too much noise right now.
Yeah, I think she has. I think it could be said for a lot of people that the secret scenes really do build these characters. Because when it goes on when it happens with these seasons where, and we could probably talk about this a little bit later in the show, of how I feel about this big merge. I'm not a big fan of it because it's too many, to quote a viral video online, there's too many cooks here. There's too many people in this merge. But yeah, I think Hannah's got a lot. I mean, I to quote her from her pre-show interview, she likes to consider herself a neurotic Jew.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's got a lot of personality and whatnot. So we're not seeing a lot of it. But in terms of how she presented herself, well, she's at least better than Adam. So.
But think about it. Who doesn't like Hannah right now? And because there's a lot of people that have a really pretty good beginning connection with her that I think could help her in the long run. She's made good connections with her core alliance, but she's also made good with David. She's made good with Ken. Her and Ken.
Let me tell you, I agree with you. Her social game is good, where she has all these people who trust her. I think that she has everyone on both sides trusting her, which is good. I think that maybe out of all the millennials, she probably has the best social game. I don't doubt that. I don't think she's making moves, but I think she has a good social game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I'll make the easy, lazy comparison to Aubrey, but
no way. Don't even.
I'm just gonna start it. What was Aubrey doing at this time? And then by the end of it, we all loved her and we all said she should have won and whatever everyone else says. But
I'd have to rewatch that season to see.
But I think at this point in time, she's about in the same place. And I'm not saying that she's perfect right now, but she has a lot of potential here in the next few weeks.
I'm hoping she does. And I said, out of the millennials, I do think she has the best game going. You have too many stupid people on the millennials that are just dumb.
Yeah, I've been on Team Hannah since week one, but
you're
the thing
always
is,
on the quirky girls.
I am. But the thing is that I think right now where she is, what day is it already? Is it
it's
19?
24. I think it was 24.
Is it already that long? Oh, wow.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Wow. Well, already at that day already, I think she's still, let's say, compared to Aubrey, just to say it. I think Aubrey was like that in day like 4 or 5. So I think Aubrey was way more advanced than what Hannah is at right now. I can see her trying to make a move later on, but I think Aubrey was already making those moves.
Yeah,
and
we only have, technically on the island 14 days left, and she was already making those moves, blindsiding people and everything.
Yeah. So I think I brought it up the one of the other weeks. I think we might start seeing that whole little mini possible medevac that she had that was not really really that big of a deal. To her, she was having an anxiety attack, but it wasn't anything that she didn't know she was having. I think that was something where we're gonna start seeing something develop for her. So if she makes it far, I'm gonna be rooting for her. But we'll see how far she gets.
Yeah, she has a pretty good chance. I have all the final three scenarios listed. Yes, I do have a lot of time on my hands, but I mean, it's not too hard to list out. But it's really tiring. I think, what do I have her chances at here? I mean, this is based on what I've seen. What are her? I have her win. Okay, there's 45 chances for the top 11. I have her winning 11 of her 45.
Wait, what? You have her? There's 45 different combinations that they can be top 3.
Yeah,
Okay. 45.
that's. I mean, for each person.
Yeah. So, yeah. So let's talk about the reward challenge. Okay, there's not a lot to talk about it because it was a really bad loss by one of the teams. We got Chris, we got Hannah as captains. Aaron pointed it out. We don't get to see their picking of the teams. I think earlier, in earlier seasons, we might have been able to see some of the picking, but most of the time it's kind of just yada yada, and we already get the teams already picked out now. So we get Chris on a captain of the one team, and Hannah the captain of the other team. Chris's team pretty much blows out Hannah's team, and Hannah has a little thing. Well, I guess I'm not going to be a captain anymore. But what I just wanted your just quick thoughts about this challenge, Randy. Oh, sorry. Good.
Kim.
I just say that I don't know what the heck Hannah was thinking. I don't know if she was thinking like, I need to keep the millennials on my side. I don't know. I mean, Chris nailed it. Those are who I would have picked. I would have picked David strictly because of the lifting. He's a light guy, so you get the people lifting him up, and he's. I'm telling you now, David is beasting. I am proud of David. He is coming through in these challenges, and it was actually embarrassing how badly they were beaten. That it wasn't even close. I mean, they were slaughtered. That's why there's nothing to talk about. It was 1, 2, 3. You close your eyes. It was over.
If David comes back and wins the season, I want to hear the difference between the first episode, okay, I'm talking about David, and the final episode.
But have I not? Probably
yes.
The last 2 or 3 episodes have constantly said David is improving.
Yes.
He's really everywhere. He's improving everywhere. I am very proud of David. He's probably really creeping up there with one of my favorites, and I did not think that was going to happen.
Aaron?
I always liked David. I just like his approach that he, again, having spent a lot of time with, being having been an IEP student and going to a camp for kids with learning disabilities or on the spectrum, to put it in a nutshell. And some of these people have social anxiety. When I saw David's pre-show interview, I thought, oh my goodness, this guy's got, and he already said it. I'm just thinking to myself, oh boy, this guy's got real social anxiety. Wait, this is a social game. Why do you want to play a game like Survivor? He wants to meet new people. Aww. He's probably not going to make it. He's probably not going to make the merge. But, we'll root for him. And hey, if he doesn't make it to the jury, I'm sure he'll go on a wonderful trip. He's been growing these last few episodes. He's been getting better and better. I think probably of the people there, I mean, maybe with the exception of Zeke and maybe a couple of others, I think he's been a very good character. In terms of the challenge and the picking of the teams and whatnot, I just want to know who picked first. I mean, because Chris is going to, the first person you want to pick is, you want to pick the muscle because you're trying to win. Although Jeff was saying, this is going to be really interesting to see what you pick. Are you going to stick with your allies, or are you going to stick with what's going to make you win the challenge or whatnot?
Are you going to pick a millennial or a Gen Xer? Which age group would you better at this challenge?
Oh, and it annoyed me. But like right after the teams were picked, all right, we got the 2 teams here. We got Chris, and then we got Hannah. I think he was leaning more towards Chris's team because there was there was just one woman on there.
I think my opinion of I think it was an interesting challenge. I think I agree with you all. The picking was terrible by Hannah. She even talks about later, she picked her allies. She was thinking ahead, trying to say, well, I want to stay close to my allies during the reward, keep them tight for now. But beyond the game, I think my favorite part of this challenge was watching the look on Jessica's face, where she knew from the very beginning, oh, I have no chance of winning this. She's just standing there next to Hannah, like, what did you do to us? And I think watching Jessica in the background of most scenes is a really funny game. If you want to do in the future, I think she gives some great facial expressions. Yeah. Oh, she's hilarious when it comes to that. So that was my favorite part of that challenge, because the challenge itself wasn't entertaining because it wasn't close. So I was more watching Jessica.
Yeah. Well, we get a look at least something good out of this is that Chris's team wins, and we actually get to see some reward, because this season and even last season the rewards have not been great. We haven't really had too many rewards, and I don't really care for the actual showing of the rewards. But this one was pretty good. We have a Vertigo feast. We see Taylor saying he's gonna be okay, because we've talked about before. Food rewards are not always the ones you want to win, because you can get sick from it. But Taylor was stealing food. He's okay. His stomach's okay. Nothing really comes of that. But we get Brett. Brett is starting to come out more and more every week. He gets drunk.
My favorite version of Brett.
He gets drunk and he lets go. But
yeah, I'm loving it.
At the same time, we have Sunday, who's starting to scheme. What do you think of that, Randy?
I appreciated Sunday. I had written her off the whole season as just an obvious goat to the end with Brett and Chris, because they're a real tight three. Mm-hmm. But I think Sunday is starting to see it. I think she sees the game a little bit more than I thought she did. And I really liked seeing that yeah, she may not and probably won't take any action on it, but at least she acknowledges, I think, her position in the game. I think she was a little bit crazy with her targeting of Jessica, kind of seemed out of the blue, but I think she wants to be the last woman standing, in all honesty. I think she wants to be the woman surrounded by all the men and go to the end.
I wonder if she's like Nicole's mom.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of, is that she'll be the final woman left and then complain that she's stuck with all the boys. Right. So I think that's where she's going with that. But she's in a good spot in a alliance, but she needs to know she's got to cut that alliance before the end if she's going to get anywhere.
The problem is that, it's very, for some reason, I think it's very personal for Jessica. There's no strategic reason to get rid of Jessica. Nothing. She doesn't come up with a reason. It's just, I want Jessica gone. And I know we're not even talking about the reward challenge. The reward challenge was great. Brett was fine, blah, blah. I mean, there wasn't much, but with Sunday, she was revealing too much information to Jay after the reward challenge. And you're feeling Sunday, I don't think she's making great game moves, because if it comes back that she did that, they're going to cut her. You can't be going to the other side. You want Jessica fine. Try to get your alliance to vote her out. You'll have enough votes if you get Zeke and Adam and Hannah and the core to vote her out. It's there. I don't agree with you that I don't think she's doing that great of a job, but she is making moves.
Yes.
Not good moves.
No.
Moves. And I think it's personal.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I think
something
that's a
happened
good point
that we
to make.
probably didn't see. It's not just because she wrote Jessica's name down. I mean, come on.
I think she says that because she wrote Jessica's name down, it's she's scared that Jessica's going to turn on her.
I mean, this is one of the examples of a person who should be a really interesting character. All right. I'm not sure I'm sure many of you read or watch the videos, the biographies on these people, the profiles, who they are, what they do, where they come from, blah, 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 blah. She has a very interesting story with her being, obviously she's religious. I think she's a youth pastor. She's a mom. she survived breast cancer,
Oh well.
and now she's going to go on Survivor. So she can survive breast cancer. Can she survive Survivor? I mean, it sounds like such an interesting, storyline there. But I don't know. I guess the editors were just really bored by her. She just didn't really give good confessionals. But it's just, I mean, the only thing I found appealing about her from the last couple of episodes is her, and I've said this before, in her Fargo accent. You're gonna go park the car?
Maybe they're protecting her because maybe she doesn't come across very nice in her confessionals, and by not showing them, they're protecting her. Because I don't think she's very nice. There's something, I know this sounds horrible, but there's something about her I don't like. And I thought I was going to like her, and I don't. So I wonder if they're protecting her by not showing her confessionals.
I don't think they'll show anything about, like, what is it? The first thing that comes to my mind when they don't want to share anything. I mean, these are the same people who are, I mean, in terms of Survivor, we didn't see any of the jury questions with Sash saying that that he could help Jane with paying off her loans or her mortgage or whatever. And it's sort of kept under lock and key about that jury question because can't talk about it. I think there's just some things that they cannot say that go on the air. I don't think that's happened with Sunday. I just think that compared to the people that are with her on this season, she's just, I guess that the editors or producers, they just couldn't get good enough confessionals from her. And the thing that struck me out about her, the thing that frustrated me, and I frustrated a lot of the live thread, was that she comes and she's getting her confessional. Yes. And she wants to target a woman. Do you know who's been eliminated from this game so far?
Yeah, we had somebody in our Twitter chat talk about why would Sunday go after a woman after all these women have been voted out, and really I don't think that is coming to play for her at least. It's she's gonna go what she thinks is gonna be best for her game. So I think she's playing at least that part of the game. She doesn't care who's still there as long as it helps her or she feels comfortable with who's there. Let's go with Adam. We're talking about Adam. He starts to do it again during the reward challenge. He starts talking to Jay. He starts rubbing it in their face again. He kind of just tells him, and even Zeke says, "What are you doing, Adam? What are you doing?"
See, I don't think he did anything too bad, in all honesty. I think his delivery was awful. I think his delivery was bad, as we've discussed. I think he doesn't understand other people's emotions in this game, but I think him talking to Jay was bad. I think the genius play was Zeke. Zeke saying, yeah, even in front of the people who aren't on his side, saying in front of Jay and Taylor, yeah, I don't know what he's doing. He's all over the place. Building some sort of relationship there. But I think Adam, I don't think he did anything. I think rubbing it in his face was a little harsh, but I think he was trying to talk to Jay, and I just don't think he gets the way he's coming off.
And the thing is, I'm saying is it's a bad move is because not only does Jay kind of see it as like you're hanging it over me, what you did, but Zeke is also like, dude, stop.
Yeah.
You're coming off in a way that I don't want to play with you. And even last week, and Hannah and Zeke were like, we can't wait to vote him off. So even though, like I said, it's not a, let's say, he's not being like a evil player like certain players in the past. He's not being a stupid player. Yeah, he's just coming off where nobody's gonna trust him or nobody's gonna want to talk to him or they don't feel like he treats everyone the same. I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna go with that part, but people don't like him.
Adam's a young lad, as Tony would say. I think he's about a year older than me. So I don't know if I can say I relate to the guy. And the thing I noticed, well, the good thing about Jay is at least he didn't feel dehumanized or totally spent. The thing with Zeke, I could have, unless I fell asleep during the episode, which I know I didn't. I think that was his only confessional that night.
Yeah, there wasn't too much of Zeke this time. Other than when you get to the immunity challenge, he gets a little bit of time with him, but throughout the episode, we don't get too much time.
Yeah, we can talk
Which,
about Will too.
yeah, we'll jump right into the immunity challenge. I don't think there's a lot to talk about at the immunity challenge other than what do you all think about when players sit out to eat?
Yeah, I wanted to say something about that. One, I don't think Zeke or Will sat out because they thought they were safe. They sat out because they were hungry and they knew they weren't going to win.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And, I don't like when Jeff tries to play. Oh well, you know what? If you feel safe, sit out. No, how about if you know you're going to lose and you're going to freaking eat? We get it. And number two, I know this sounds so petty, but if Will wanted to drink where they were, it's legal. I think we're like
They
the
have
only.
to abide by U.S. law.
I know, I get it, but it's still legal, so to speak. If he had a beer, he couldn't get arrested. But anyway, it was just like Brett should have sat out, Chris should have sat out. You weren't gonna win. The people who were slim and slender should have stayed in. The fatties or the big guys should have sat down, had a beer, had a sandwich, and ate some chips.
I don't mind it when people sit out and eat as long as
it's
they're
entertaining.
Yeah, as long as they're not. Some of this, there's been people that sit down there. They're like, "Oh, I'm so safe. I don't have to." As long as they're not rubbing it in the other people's face, I don't mind it. Yeah. So
right, because Zeke nor Will at any point said they were safe. They just said they weren't going to win.
Funny thing, Zeke tweeted out that he was asking about the beers and the best beer or whatever, and then supposedly Jeff said, "Oh, shut the F up."
Yeah, I've heard Jeff has a potty mouth.
And Zeke says, and just Zeke just like, there's so much stuff that they don't show on camera, but he does. Yeah.
Jeff is. I've heard from many interviews on Survivor Oz and other places that Jeff has a dirty, dirty, dirty mouth. And they could use product placement here, and clean it up with Orbit or whatever. But the funny thing I found with Jeff with sending people out, it leads for great. I mean, depending on which season it is, it can be annoying if it's a pagonging, and these people are going, "Oh, we're safe." Or, one that comes to mind was South Pacific. That really pissed me off. But and it was actually the same challenge, I think, in some way. I think sort of a balancing. The challenge is called Bo Diddley, which give props for that. So, but in this case, it was only two people that said it. The funniest one I think was when I think Panama, because once that ended, Shane had a whole thing of hamburger stuff in his face.
Ken wins immunity. There's not a lot of anything crazy that happens during the immunity challenge. At the end, Taylor kind of gives him a run for the money, but not really. Taylor ends up falling down.
Hero whistled too.
We've already talked about in and out the different things that are going to happen before Tribal. We have Sunday kind of reaching out to Jay. We have Jay and Taylor trying to see what they're going to do to be able to stay in the game. Let's talk about Tribal. What did y'all think of this Tribal Council, Randy? Kim?
Yeah, I wanted to say one thing about the pre-tribal, to wonder did Jay set up Taylor, knowing that if Taylor made a complete ass of himself at Tribal, that was going to hurt him? Did he know going in there that Taylor is one of the dumbest players? And I got 162 favors on that tweet. One of the dumbest players ever to play the game. To go in there and say, "I ate all your food. All of it. I'm not sorry. And I ate it all. I hid it and I ate it. But Adam has this, reward." It's a reward of nothing. I wouldn't vote someone out because they can steal my reward. Because at the end of the day, that's not going to win me the freaking game. So I just wonder if Jay set him up to do that at Tribal, knowing, like he said, yeah, do it, knowing how badly it was of a game move. Because
Yeah.
you also voted him out.
Yeah, because it does lead to this whole thing that happened at Tribal with Adam and Taylor. What do you think, Randy?
Yeah, I don't know if I see it that way, because there's two things that lead me back to that. That one, it was if you watch the secret scenes, you see Taylor say he knew he was going. Everyone kept telling him it was Jay, and if you find out the information that easily, they're probably lying to you. And so I think he made a good point there that that he knew it was him, and he had to throw a Hail Mary out there to try to get something working. But also there is the fact that Adam was lying, and he had Adam's lie, but I don't know. I lost
At the end of the day, that reward steal is I think the stupidest thing that they've done, as far as just being worthless. Because if someone were to use it, they just piss everybody off. So why would you even use it unless you want to sabotage yourself?
Exactly. He is never going to use that unless someone says, "Hey, Adam, I don't need to see my brother. You can take this. Why don't you see, your family member?" That's the only way I can see that working out. I would never take someone's reward ever. So it was a dumb argument for Taylor, but it made a great tribal for me. And what did everyone think of Jay voting out Taylor?
He knew he had to.
Yeah, he's smarter than Taylor.
To me, the biggest thing that threw me off was Will voted for Jay.
Well,
why did he do that?
I think Jay voted for Adam, and can we get out of the way that the tribal council was the best thing that happened in the episode?
Oh, absolutely. But Taylor was the vote for Adam.
Yes.
And then the 4 for Jay were Jessica, Brett, Hannah, and Will. So I find it very strange that Will voted for Jay. That's the one that really, the question that I have in all of this is what made him side with Taylor on this.
Well, if they were telling Taylor it was a Jay and he heard it, he might have been like, just let me add a vote to make sure as long as it's not me or whatever.
Will could have fallen for that. That's very true.
I don't know. I mean, that was the best part of the episode because I can see how people are not going to like Taylor because he's not the smartest person ever to play the game. But on the other hand, I found myself very entertained by him.
Oh yeah,
because,
I agree.
Do you think that Taylor, not that he was smart enough, would have had a better shot at going against Jay at Tribal and mentioning, he knew. He took the food, he ate it with me, we laughed about it together. He's just as guilty as I am. Fine. Trust him, don't trust him.
I think
maybe something like that. That's what I would have done. I would have flipped on Jay.
I think someone's used that before in the past too.
I think that's where I was going with what you were saying, Kim, earlier. With did Adam set him up? And if Adam did, if Jay set him up, that's where Taylor made the mistake. Was that he also said that Adam helped him eat the food. He was doing great the whole time of saying, Adam was there, Adam helped me. But then at the end of it, he said, Jay and I finished off the food earlier. That's where he threw Jay under the bus. That I don't think Jay was behind that whole scenario because that's where it screwed up for him if he did.
I think the better example I wanted to use of Jay just going out kicking and screaming and pulling everybody under the bus when he left. I mean, him revealing, that was, in this case, it was Adam's mistake to tell it. It was a dumb thing to tell Taylor about his advantage. But, I mean, Taylor really didn't need to, bring him down like that. Because you don't need to bring people, you don't need to take them with you.
Taylor is dummy.
With Michaela, she could have, when she was voted out and she was, walking, going all over the place and misplacing her shoes and whatnot, she did not reveal about Jay's idol, which I think you told us about. I think you told us about that she said that she didn't want to do anything nasty afterwards.
Yeah.
Respect for the game.
But here's the thing with Taylor. I think it's best off that he and Figgy weren't together as long as they were, or that she didn't make the merge, because between the two of them, they could have created a new STD.
So that's what happened in the episode. Like what you guys said, my wife was entertained by Taylor, but she didn't like him. She was glad that he was voted out. I felt that was pretty much the overall tone on Twitter and on Facebook. People were pretty much relieved that he was gone. I read I think it's Ryan Heidek's column interviewing Taylor, and Taylor just tried to pay off that he was playing this dumb game, like he was playing dumb the whole time. I don't buy it.
No.
He said that it was all strategy. I don't buy anything he says. I think he's just as dumb as he sounds on TV. But that's just me.
I do think in his exit press though, he comes off pretty mature about the whole Figgy stuff. And in all the press I've been reading, he comes off very well that I did her wrong, and I know she's not happy at me, and I don't blame her. Like he does. I think that impressed me that he had a little bit of maturity there.
Well, on Ryan Heidek's thing, he was like, "Well, it was best for me to break up with Figgy. It was better for my family." Yeah. I think breaking up with your girlfriend when you're about to have a baby.
Yeah, can I be clear? Can I just get this? Now, the reason why they broke up was because she found out that, or we're getting hints to that she found out about Taylor getting another woman pregnant.
Yeah.
And being with another woman.
And being with an
Yeah, he had a girlfriend when he went to the island.
The comment before they went on the island.
Yeah.
Before they went on the island.
Yeah.
So he's like the reverse Whitney.
So let's talk about next week's episode.
Strategy.
Jay does have an idol.
Jay does have an idol.
That's what I learned from the preview. Jay does have an idol.
It's the telephone game, right? I mean, I'm gonna tell you, just don't tell anybody. You're not gonna believe what I heard. Everybody, I'm like, did you hear about Jay? Did you hear about this? Or I'm like, oh my god, I started laughing because
bye bye birdie for some reason.
That was my favorite tweet from Michaela this week, by the way. That she tweeted that she's like, I may be late to the game, but Jay does have an idol, and that I appreciated that.
Okay, guys. So,
can I say who I think is going to go home next week?
Go ahead.
I think it's going to be Adam. I think Jay's going to flush his idol because he's going to find out everybody knows he has it. He's going to think he's going to be voted out. He's going to play it. Adam's going to think he's safe. He's not going to play, and Adam's going to go. That's my guess.
I think I'm gonna take it a different way. I think it's Chris.
No.
I think it's Chris.
They want you to think it's Chris. That's why I don't think it's Chris.
I have a feeling it's Chris, based on where they're at, and now that the Gen X have a majority again, I think I think some of them that feel in a precarious spot are gonna feel like they have a little bit more room to move when it comes to that, and not have to be catching up on the numbers. And so I think there will be an idol played. I don't know where it's going to be, but I think we're going to see Chris go.
You know what I'd love if what happens is they split the votes between Jay and Adam. They both play their idols, and then like just random person goes.
Yeah, randomly Sunday heads off to Ponderosa.
That would be epic. Just that one person that threw like a hanky vote.
And I would love it. I would love
fabulous.
I would love if it was Jessica, just to make Sunday even more mad that she did it.
Yes. Oh
Jessica
my God.
even more.
Yes. Let that happen, please. Give me that, please.
So let's, Randy. We have a little thing here, and I don't think any of us has changed. So our opinions on the players. So what does it just ask Randy, since he's the new guy here? Has there been anybody whose stock has gone up or down for you since the beginning of the game?
Yeah, Adam has definitely gone down. I Adam was my preseason pick. I'm in a pretty big 20-person draft where everyone has one person. Adam's been my person all along. I felt pretty good until the merge, where now I'm starting to worry. So he's the one that's definitely gone down.
I'm in 2 drafts with you.
I know. Kim's always in my drafts.
I have Michelle that went. No, I didn't have Michelle. I had Rachel. She's gone. But I have Chris, and I have somebody else. Jessica. Chris and Jessica. Mm-hmm. They both better be safe. That's
as far as stock goes up, I got to give it to our person that's a perfect 6 for 6 when it comes to voting out the right person at Tribal, and that's David.
Yes. Mm-hmm. David has gone up.
Only person on the season that has been right every time when it comes to vote. He has his idol. He doesn't look like too big of a threat because he's not a major comp threat, but he's holding his own. So I think he looks pretty good right now as long as he doesn't get too loud with his strategy. If he doesn't show himself as too much of a strategic threat, I think he has a good chance to go pretty far.
So let's go ahead and drop it off there. We'll go ahead and drop it off there, and we'll go ahead and just say goodbye to everybody. Randy, where can people find you?
Yeah, people can find me on Twitter. My name is @RandyNoop, which is RandyKNUP.
Aaron, where can we find you?
You can find me on Facebook and all that stuff or whatnot. Okay, yeah, you can find me on Facebook, where I usually spend most of my time, which is kind of, I don't know. I'm also on Twitter at Aaron_Khan, although most of the time you're going to see me sharing listings for things I'm selling on eBay, which is a thing. And I mentioned this last week, and if any of you do this for me, then I will love you forever. I recently did an email interview with a group that are not very popular unless you're a real diehard fan of rock music from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. The band's name is Lucifer's Friend. They reunited a year or two ago, and they just released a new album. I was lucky enough to do an email interview with them. I mean, the email interview format, not the preferred one, but they were just a really good interview. And if you read my work, I mean, I don't know, I can give the link or whatever. Just message me. I'm sure there are going to be hundreds and hundreds of people coming to me going, I would like to read that interview. But that's what's going on with me. Yeah, I interviewed a band recently. But
Kim?
Yeah, and you can find me on my YouTube channel as well.
And Kim?
You could find me at Kim_is___board.
All right, and
That's about it.
And you can find me at Perspective. You can find all the videos of the Spy Shack podcast here on my YouTube channel, as well as nerdfeed.com, where you'll find not only the Spy Shack podcast, but also Nerds from the Crypt podcast and all the rest of the people from nerdfeed.com. Thank you guys once again for joining us, and have a good night.
Thanks.
Cool.